Most people lose the day before it even begins. They wake up and scroll, mind flooded, chest tight. Before they've even stood up, they're already behind. Today, you'll reclaim those first fragile moments and use them to build unshakable peace. You'll learn 10 powerful things to tell yourself every morning, grounded in Stoicism, to anchor your mind, protect your energy, and move through the day with clarity. Because here's the truth, your mind is most vulnerable in the first 10 minutes after waking, and what you feed it in that silence shapes everything that follows. Relationships that drain you, thoughts that crush you, habits that sabotage your peace, they all gain power when your mornings are left unguarded. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, I will meet people who are irritating, ungrateful, deceitful." He wasn't being pessimistic, he was preparing, building mental armor before the world could pierce him. And science agrees. Neuroscience shows those first few minutes after waking create a blueprint, emotional, chemical, behavioral, for the rest of your day. The problem? Most of us give that blueprint to the outside world, to headlines, to noise, to comparison. The solution? 10 deliberate affirmations, rooted in Stoic practice, that train your mind to lead instead of react. This isn't spiritual fluff, it's survival. And over time, it becomes transformation. Comment below, "I choose calm every morning." Like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a reset. We begin now, not tomorrow, not next week. Now, with the first thing you must tell yourself each morning. Let's go to point 1. 1. I determine the emotional tone of my day. Have you ever felt like the day took over, before you had a chance to decide how you wanted to feel? Like your mood was already chosen for you, by bad sleep, an email, or the heaviness of yesterday? This is where most people lose their freedom. They let the outside world decide their inner weather. But the Stoics taught something radical, that your first power of the day isn't what you do, it's what you choose to feel. Viktor Frankl, a student of Stoicism who survived the unthinkable, once said, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." It's like holding a tuning fork in your chest. You strike it in the morning, and it hums all day long. You can either let the noise of the world strike it, or you can do it yourself, deliberately. In practice, this means, before the world intrudes, you claim your ground. Before you get out of bed, sit up slowly. Place your hand on your chest, feel the warmth of your own skin, and say, "I determine the emotional tone of my day." Say it with conviction, not as a wish, but as a decision. If you want to apply this today, start by claiming your mood before the phone, the news, or the stress has a chance to steal it. Because you're not a sponge for other people's chaos. You're the author of your inner climate. Let's move to the second truth. And it's one most people never realize, until it's too late. 2. Only I decide what enters my inner calm. Ever notice how quickly one message, one comment, one look can wreck your peace? It's like your mind is a house, and you've left the front door wide open. Anyone can walk in, drop their problems, rummage through your energy, and leave without cleaning up. But the Stoics taught something else, that you are the guardian of your inner fortress, and nothing gets in without your permission. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." It's a truth we forget, that peace isn't the absence of noise, it's the presence of boundaries. Mental walls, emotional gates, not to isolate you, but to protect what's sacred inside. Picture a quiet lake, still, deep. Now imagine someone throwing a rock in it every 5 minutes. You can't stop every rock, but you can choose which ones you hold on to. In plain terms, just because something happens doesn't mean it has to enter you. Just because someone's upset doesn't mean you need to carry it. If you want to apply this today, say this aloud in the morning. Only I decide what enters my inner calm. Stand still, breathe slowly, and with your hand on your heart, declare yourself the gatekeeper. You don't need to block the world. You just need to stop letting it live rent-free in your head. Now let's move to the third principle, one that changes how you spend your energy forever. 3. I give my energy only to what I govern. Have you ever felt completely drained without even doing much? It's not laziness, it's emotional leakage. Spending your energy on things you can't change, can't fix, and can't control. You worry about someone's tone. You replay a conversation you can't undo. You try to solve problems that were never yours in the first place, and by noon, you're empty. But Epictetus made this division clear. He said, "Some things are up to us and some things are not." It sounds simple, but it's everything. Your peace depends on whether you understand this and live by it. Imagine your attention as a spotlight in a dark room. Where you aim it, life grows. Aim it at your circle of control, and clarity grows. Aim it outside that circle, and confusion takes over. In plain terms, there are only 3 zones in life: what you govern, what you influence, and what's beyond your reach. Your thoughts, yours; your actions, yours; someone else's opinion, not yours; global chaos, beyond your command. If you want to apply this today, take a quiet moment after waking. Close your eyes and say, "I give my energy only to what I govern." Then list one thing you can control today and commit to it. This is how you stop bleeding energy into the void. This is how you reclaim your strength. Let's move forward now to a truth even deeper than action, a truth about identity itself. For who I am is not defined by what happens today. Have you ever felt like a failure before the day even ended? Like if you don't perform, if you don't check every box, then you don't matter? It's subtle, but it's brutal. We tie our identity to our output, and then every success inflates us, every setback shatters us. But Seneca reminds us of something sacred. He wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions, not his wins, not his failures, but the depth of his intentions, the dignity of how he lives." It's like mistaking the weather for the sky. Just because there's a storm today doesn't mean the sky has failed. It's still vast, still whole, still untouched above the clouds. In practice, this means you are not your inbox, you are not your productivity, you are not how much others approve of you, you are not what you did or didn't finish today. If you want to apply this today, sit still and say, "Who I am is not defined by what happens today." Let those words sink into your chest. Feel the pressure begin to dissolve, because your worth was never earned, it was always there. And now, we move from identity to action, from being to becoming. 5. I choose to move, not merely plan. Ever found yourself exhausted by your own to-do list, even when nothing's been done? It's a strange kind of fatigue, the weight of all the things you said you'd start, but didn't. You map it out, you talk about it, you visualize the perfect timing, and still nothing changes. But Marcus Aurelius cuts through the illusion. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. In other words, enough thinking, move. Planning is important, yes. But planning without action becomes paralysis, and the mind begins to rot in its own good intentions. Picture a rowboat at the edge of a lake. You can imagine the journey, you can sketch the map, but until you row, you go nowhere. In plain terms, you don't need more motivation, you need movement, even a single step. That's where energy comes from doing, not from waiting to feel ready. If you want to apply this today, say it with intention. I choose to move, not merely plan. Then do something small. Send the email, lace the shoes, make the call. Tiny acts, and that break the spell of inaction. Now let's talk about the very thing you might be avoiding. The pain, the setback, the storm. It's not your enemy, it's your fuel. 6. Adversity is fuel for my strength. Have you ever wondered why the hardest moments seem to shape you the most? Not the calm days, not the smooth ones, but the moments you thought would break you, and somehow they didn't. There's a reason. James Stockdale, who survived over 7 years as a prisoner of war, said it was Stoic philosophy that saved him. He faced torture, isolation, and uncertainty, but he clung to a mindset. This is the test. This is where I become who I claim to be. Marcus Aurelius echoed it centuries earlier. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Think about that. The very thing you fear might be the thing that frees you. It's like weightlifting for the soul. Resistance isn't the enemy. It's what builds the muscle. In plain terms, you don't need to run from adversity. You need to face it and choose what it will mean for you. If you want to apply this today, stand tall, even if it hurts. Say, adversity is fuel for my strength. Let the discomfort teach you. Let the pain sharpen you. Let it become the reason you grow, not the excuse to stop. Because your resilience is forged in fire. And now, we move to something just as critical. Not what others expect of you, but what path you claim as your own. 7. My path is mine alone. Have you ever felt behind, even when you're doing your best? It's not because you're lost. It's because you're looking sideways. You compare your progress to someone else's highlight reel. You question your worth because someone else appears further, faster, better. But Epictetus cuts through the noise. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. He's saying, stop watching, start walking. Your path is yours. No one else's timeline, body, mind, or life can define your direction. Imagine a marathon where every runner has a different course. Some face hills, some run on sand, some carry invisible weight. So how can you compare? In plain terms, the more you look at others, the less you see your own road. Their success isn't your failure. Their speed isn't your limit. If you want to apply this today, take a breath and say, my path is mine alone. Feel the freedom in that. Feel the pressure dissolve. Then take one quiet step forward, just one, in your own direction. Let's move on now, to something even deeper than direction, to the force that moves you forward, when motivation is nowhere to be found. 8. Discipline drives me, not emotion. Have you ever waited to feel ready, and waited, and waited? Some days you're inspired, most days you're not. And if you depend on motivation, those uninspired days win. The Stoics didn't wait for a good mood to do what needed to be done. They acted because action aligned with virtue, not emotion. Cato, a Roman Stoic known for his unshakable character, lived this. He showed up, he led, he resisted corruption, not because it felt good, but because it was right. Discipline was his compass, not feeling. Imagine a train running on a solid track. Emotion is the weather, unpredictable, changing. But the track? That's discipline. That's what carries you forward, no matter what storms come. In plain terms, motivation is a spark. Discipline is a fire you build with your own hands, and every small choice strengthens it. If you want to apply this today, whisper it when you want to quit. Discipline drives me, not emotion. Then follow through, not because you feel like it, but because it builds who you are. Next, we shift the lens, not towards striving, but towards seeing. Seeing what you already have, before it disappears. 13. Gratitude frames my perspective. Have you ever rushed through the day and realized you didn't feel a single moment? You had water, you had food, you had breath, but it all blurred into the background, unnoticed, unappreciated. Seneca warned us of this blindness. He wrote, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire." We fear loss, but forget to love what we still have. We chase more, but rarely pause to value what already surrounds us. And yet science confirms what the Stoics already knew. Gratitude changes the brain. It calms the nervous system. It rewires your perception from scarcity to sufficiency. It's like looking through a cracked lens, and then switching to one that's clear. Nothing outside changes, but suddenly everything feels different. In plain terms, you don't need more. You need to see more of what's already here. If you want to apply this today, wake up and say, "Gratitude frames my perspective." Then name 3 things you'd miss if they were gone. Not someday, today. This simple shift softens the heart, sharpens the mind, and opens the soul. And now, we arrive at the final principle.